Welcome back to B-Spice. In this session, we'll finalize this mastering instrument installation with part 6. So in part 6, we'll focus on instrument wiring. Let's go into the details of the agenda, whatever we have covered so far. Installation in control building and main cableway, we have already done in part 1. Field instruments in part 2 done, and impulse line and sample analyzer piping we have done in part 3, heat tracing insulation part 4, and instrument air supply piping and instrument pneumatic signal tubing we focused on part 5, and now this is the final session on instrument wiring. Okay, and of course earthing we have already done in part 1. Okay friends, so as part of the instrument wiring I would like to touch upon bit on the wiring method. Friends, we used to have this multi-conductor cables, right? Or we call it as a multi-pair, triad or quad cables that shall be installed between control building and field junction box, right? Yes. So individual cable, for example, one pair of two cores shall be installed between junction box and the field instruments. So of course you know this, we call it as a field pair cable, right? So in certain circumstances, special cables such as coaxial telecommunication or special cables recommended by the manufacturers of analyzers, tank gauges, or even gas detectors that shall be installed from the control building to the field instrument without a junction box. This is a direct cable. Okay, so that also we need to watch out. So multi-conductor cables and individual cables shall be connected in a junction box. So that is the methodology we follow, and connection of course using terminal blocks. Okay, so just to add on few more, each multi-conductor cable approximately have 10 to 20% spare conductor. When we lay the cable and after its termination, we should ensure that this percentage 10 to 20% spare should be available. The wiring from the main cableway to field instrument shall be installed on a steel angle cable supporter. You got it, friends? The wiring from the main cableway to the field instrument, the branch cable, branch off shall be installed on the steel cable supports, and steel conduit shall be used to protect those cables that are unarmored. Okay, got it? So different cable circuit shall not be laid on same cable support unless the cables are shielded. So maximum of 2 cable can be laid on one cable support. Connection to the instrument shall be sealed with cable glands to prevent the ingress of liquids and propagation of explosive gas. That is also there. This is for the cable gland. But in sometimes we use the conduit actually. So when conduit is used, we need to have a sealing fitting. That is a point. And also cable entrances to the junction box shall be from bottom of the junction box. Of course, sometimes side is also available. Predominantly we use bottom of the junction box, and of course shall be sealed with a cable gland. Plastic marker shall be attached at both ends of the multi-conductor cable for easy traceability, right? And plastic wire marker at both ends of the wires. So this is the wiring methodology, right? And specification for wiring. So I will touch upon a bit on the cables actually, but of course I also cover detail about the cable spec. You can refer the cable mastering cable section also in our BSpice we uploaded. You can watch more details. So here it is, I classified of 5 signals: a conventional or electronic signal, the main cable from control building to the junction box. It's a multi-pair, could be a 0.75 or 1 mm square shielded. And if it is an individual cable junction box to the field instrument, single pair 1 mm square is fine. Thermocouple, again friend, this is related, you have to refer your project specification. This is the guideline actually. Then thermocouple, we have a multi-pair 1 mm solid, and of course 1 pair 1 mm shielded here. Triad or cable kind of thing. And contact signal for multi-conductor 0.75 or 1 mm square. And this is individual field side is 2 core, 1 mm square. And for SOV, SOV can be a multi-conductor 2 or 2.5 mm square, and individual also same. Power supply 2 or 2.5 mm square or larger, and individual also same. So this is just a guideline, and I strongly suggest you to watch the mastering cables section in our BSpice for more clarity and details. And of course, I just referred this one, right? Refer cable specification video from BSpice for common cable spec and conductor spec and color identification. That is my suggestion. If you are interested, you can watch. Because see, this is about the installation. We don't have to cover the detail about the wiring here. So the wiring should go to the cable spec. That's why. Okay. Now, we'll talk about the specification for conduit and fittings. See, for example, friends, when we talk about the conduit and fittings, actually, one moment. Yeah. So we have a cable support, right? So cable support, you have an angle steel, 50 by 50 angle and 250 mm pitch of holes with diameter approximately 10 mm. This is for the cable support. And cable gland, flame-proof type for flame-proof equipment and increase IS safety for ISM. Conduit actually should be a rigid steel conduit. Unions explosion-proof type. Flexible conduit, this can be an explosion proof or watertight vinyl sheath increased safety type. Sealed fitting, so this can be an explosion proof type. And junction box, of course, stainless steel with terminals actually. And of course, sometimes they go for GRP also, but predominantly we use this stainless steel. Okay, friends. I hope this is also useful for you. And here, when we talk about terminals, see, watertight it should be. Increased safety type junction box shall be used in zone 2 area. Watertight explosion-proof junction box shall be used in zone 1 area. So what is zone 1, zone 2, zone 0? All these we have covered in a separate video. You can watch and get benefited. Thanks for your support, friends. If anything, you can write to me. So with this, we are winding up with this mastering instrument installation. Next, we'll focus on some other good videos like, instrument typical drawing installation. Of course, we are focusing more on the construction. Yeah, probably we'll do that, or maybe we'll talk about something very interesting so that you guys can show some interest at least. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.